My actual question then would be, could you talk a little bit about the other roles you've had since the Superman movie, and how in some of them you kind of, make a nod to that and then move on with the character, and whether that's your idea or the writer's idea, or how does that do you think that kind of frees you up if you just kind of acknowledge that and then move on and hope the audience forgets it? What's that like for you to kind of keep going back to that?
Thanks for bringing that up. I think that obviously in several of the movies that I've done, there's a little bit of tongue-in-cheek jokes happening. Certainly with Scott Pilgrim playing Todd Ingram. Thank you. And if you haven't paid to see the movie yet, please do so and bring 10 friends. Write chain letters to people, and it's an amazing film anyway. So I just have to. More people need to see it in the theater because it's an amazing theatrical experience. That's my plug on that. So certainly that was part of Edgar Wright's genius plan. Was the fact that I played Superman and having me be Todd Ingram and play against that, be a bad guy versus the ultimate good guy, and go against Michael Cera, who's much smaller than I am. All those things, playing all those opposites.
I heard he was taught you how to play guitar.
Well, he did kind of teach me a thing or two. Michael really plays guitar. He's an excellent musician. He plays more than just guitar. I think he does other instruments as well. And I had to learn to play bass. And I had trained when I was in Los Angeles, but when I got to Toronto, we had our first practice session. And if you've seen the movie, you know that his bass parts are kind of easier than mine and the bass tools that we have. And so he played them, he's like, what's your part? And I struggled through trying to play it for him. And he goes, oh, this? He just without ever having to practice, he plays it perfect. So in the movie, I'm supposed to be better than he is, but in real life, he's a better bass player than I am. There's that. And with Zach and Miri, I think, to go back to the question, thanks. Thank you, Kevin Smith, and Justin Long, and everyone else in the team. But because of, I think that was kind of playing on opposites, or what you kind of shock value of that, having you play that character was definitely involved. And those are the two right now, other than some small little comedic things I've done one thing on the internet that I did was kind of funny to do. It was kind of, that really wasn't tongue-in-cheek, but doing comedy anyway, I think people think it's tongue-in-cheek because it's something different. Or playing a bad guy. Playing a bad guy on Chuck was, that turned out to be, I think, in Chris Viak and Josh Schwartz's minds, kind of a cool thing for them to have me be a good guy turn bad guy. So, yeah, that's the playing the opposite of Superman has given me a job, so that's a good thing.
Everybody likes a job. Miss Sarah, Riznik Sally.
What was the hardest part, both at the time and moving forward, about assuming the legacy of Superman?
What was the hardest part? What is it? Let me count the ways. I think the thing that weighed on me most was we were there filming for basically 7-8 months in Sydney, Australia. And I was, working out every day and in the harness and flying and then doing, scenes where I actually got to speak and all of that. People would come to set, grown men and children alike would kind of sometimes cry because they'd get, come on set to meet me, friends of cast or whatever, which was kind of a crazy thing because nobody had seen the movie yet. So I'm wearing the suit, playing Superman, but not quite knowing if not quite totally feeling like a Superman because people hadn't seen the movie. So that was kind of the hardest, that was the hard part. And that just goes, throw that in the bag of just not knowing how people are going to react to it. And if I've done a good job to satisfy the majority, because you can't satisfy everyone. Certainly. So that was the hardest part. So that's fulfilling legacy, all those things, people's expectations, and runs the whole gamut, basically. Matthew Patel.
How you doing, Mr. Routh?
I'm doing very well, thank you. Can you guys, am I enunciating all right? Can you guys hear me? All right? Okay. Thank you.
Now, when you hear Hollywood stars, doing interviews when it comes to filming superhero movies, they always seem to have an opinion. I prefer playing the good guy, or I love playing the villain. But you have had the opportunity to play both quite a few times there. So, which one do you prefer, villain or hero?
I don't, it's hard to say which I prefer. I actually did have a lot of fun playing a villain, which I didn't, early in my career, I didn't think I really wanted to play bad guys. When we're doing comedy, it's fun, it's over the top. Even with Chuck, though, because Shaw came from a real place, we kind of understood why he did the things that he did, even though he was misguided, really. There was a real true place to come from, so that made that enjoyable, because it was very emotional. There wasn't a lot of emotion for him at the beginning of the first 8 episodes that I'm in, until the turn, and that was really kind of interesting, more interesting as an actor, because it was more emotionally involved in what was happening. So that was great fun. But the ultimate, playing Superman is the ultimate in amazing opportunities. So that good guy beats any other good or bad guy role, I suppose.
That's true. There's no way you're a hero, you can't top that.
Not really. I mean, you can take a poll. I put my money on Superman.
Yeah.
Hi, nice to meet you. I had a question actually about your earlier part of the career. I had heard that you actually were a bartender early in life, and if you have a favorite drink, because we are at DragonCon.
What does that mean? Does it mean you just drink because you're a DragonCon?
Well, it's our giveaway. But
It's to celebrate Sunday.
Exactly. And if you have any preferred drinks that you'd like to share with us.
If you don't answer, I will.
Yes, I did bartend for two years, I guess, about, at a couple different places in Los Angeles. The last being Lucky Strike, which is Lucky Strike fans. Which is a really kind of hip bowling alley lounge place. They've got quite a few now across the country. Before that, I worked at Big Al's Steakhouse in Tahunga, California, which is a little bit out of Los Angeles, but it was my first bartending gig, and it was fun. I learned a lot. And I guess my favorite drink that I drink the most, I guess, is a gin or vodka gimlet, which is. But I like to sample beer, because it's.
Thank you.
Beer's good.
Yeah. I don't drink it as much anymore. I just can't. I still like to taste it, because I'm kind of a connoisseur, but maybe because I'm getting older.
No, you're not.
But I didn't drink until I was 21. For all you younger people, and that's true. That's the truth. It's illegal.